So to put it in terms of attacking both the client and the server, to attack the client for web-based apps, really what I'm talking about here is installing some type of browser-based malware, either a toolbar or a sniffer or some type of ActiveX control that plugs on in and changes the browser behavior, spies on it, potentially, all that kind of stuff. If you can install new trusted root certificates, that's awesome. Most people don't even know what that means, but it means to an attacker that you essentially can now tell that browser that anything is trusted. Anything you want is trusted. And the goals for attacking the client, just like with any other malware attack, the web client, you can spy on their activities, you can add them to a botnet through the web, and you can certainly spread, even from a web client, which is not something that most people think of. But now that you know how malware works a little bit and how the web client web server relationship works in an ethical hacking scenario, you know that these kinds of malware and these kinds of attacks can be spread just from a client, just from a browser to other servers and other clients. And attacking the servers, I've shown you a little bit here about footprinting, which you remember from the earlier videos on footprinting, identifying the software in the patch level, getting some banner grabbing going on and so forth. Creating intentional errors to examine error reports. You saw the screenshot of the verbose logging. Well, if you can't get one on by accident, get one on purpose. Mash the keyboard and see what happens. Mirror the site. There's plenty of site mirror tools out there. Will actually grab an entire website, suck it down to your hard drive so you can examine it. In particular, I actually do recommend Microsoft Baseline Security Analyzer, or MBSA, which is an interesting tool. It's intended for web administrators to determine the security posture of their own site, but it can be used by ethical hackers to take a look for vulnerabilities and misconfigurations. Similarly, URL-Scan or URL-Scan is another free tool that's out on the internet that you can use to actually scan a website for potential vulnerabilities. There are a couple of nice tools for analyzing web apps and web servers at the same time that I didn't mention on the web client page, but because they're more web server centric, there's one called Paros, P-A-R-O-S, and there's another one called Burp. I hate to be rude, but Burp. The Burp Suite, which actually contains a number of web analysis tools that analyze the server, analyze the client, analyze the apps, and so forth, and give you a fairly rich, detailed report about what server strengths are out there, what server weaknesses are out there, what the client looks like, and potentials for fixing all of that stuff, or addressing potential vulnerabilities. Not fixing, because that doesn't really mean that anything's broken. It's quite likely that the configuration is intentional, but an administrator needs to know that these are potential vulnerabilities or weaknesses so they can either mitigate them or understand them and accept them.